From WCYB, this is News 5 at 5.
"70 years ago, on August 13th, 1956, a signal went on the air, and it has been telling the stories of people all around the Tri-Cities ever since." Hi, everybody. I'm Casey Getz.
And I'm Kristen Kwan. Yes, WCYB is celebrating 70 years of serving our communities in Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, and Eastern Kentucky. We are here in Kingsport for your town, where tonight we're honoring the people, the past, and the future that makes our communities so great. So this beautiful home that we're in right now is the Allendale Mansion. This home is a popular destination for weddings, private parties, and business events. The historic home was gifted to the city of Kingsport in 1969 and was originally built in 1950 by Ruth and Harvey Brooks. Today, the mansion still features the Brooks' original fine furnishings, once part of a 500-acre farm where Harvey Brooks raised championship Black Angus cattle and blue ribbon walking horses. Allendale Mansion has become a vibrant centerpiece of Kingsport's civic and social life.
Kingsport, or the model city it is known, has a story that sets it apart from many other places across the Tri-Cities. It started as a place to build boats on the banks of the Holston River. Eventually, it grew into a city known for it to be a titan of industry, and it still remains that today. Ryan A. Renfro takes a look back at the history of Kingsport.
Kingsport is one of the more unique cities in our region. It was planned and mapped by some of the brightest minds in the country. But its modest origins began along the banks of the South Fork of the Holston River.
It was the best place to build your boat, put it in, and you could float down the Holston to the Tennessee and around the Tennessee to the Ohio, down the Ohio to the Mississippi, and wind up in New Orleans.
The riverfront soon became a bustling boatyard for salt merchants from Southwest Virginia.
They decided to petition the state of Tennessee to be a community or a town. And they collected all their signatures and sent it in, and they were going to be the town of Kingsport. They were granted their charter, but the state put the two words together, so we became Kingsport.
Kingsport, geographically, was the head of navigation for the Tennessee River Valley system. And the folks from Washington County, Greene County, Bristol area, and Sullivan County came forward. If you'll support us building a railroad on our side, we'll support dredging the river for steamboat traffic on your side. And they thought that sounded like a good idea, so that's what they did. River travel dropped off dramatically, so Kingsport's economic lifeline was absolutely cut.
After the Civil War and the move of commerce to the new railroad, Kingsport was quickly becoming forgotten, until George L. Carter stepped in and completed an unfinished railroad that would join a line from Chicago to Charleston, South Carolina, across the Appalachian Mountains.
He's now looking for people to populate the railroad and provide traffic for his new investment. At that time, in 1917, it was World War I. And what was happening? Chemical warfare coming out of Germany. Where did Eastman Kodak get its chemicals? From Germany. So Eastman Kodak was hamstrung by the fact that they had relied on international chemicals and said, never again. We need a domestic supply.
Kingsport was reincorporated into a town in 1917, and industry began to flock to the area.
All the industries arrived between like 1917 and 1925. And the idea was that if you had a paper plant that cut down the trees, made the paper, across the street was the book plant, which was the press, and then right next to it was Holliston Mills, which was the book bindery, so it was like just-in-time inventory.
As the town grew from the commerce, the businesses and investors hired John Nolan of Cambridge, Massachusetts, to design the expanding town beyond that of the rectangle city blocks put in place by the railroad engineers.
At that time, there was an initiative called the City Beautiful Movement and the Garden City Movement. So they wanted to go away from just rectangular streets, you know, 1st Street, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, 4th Street, and they wanted to add curvilinear streets with triangles and circles and add interest.
And with a burgeoning population came the need for education.
They said, well, if we're going to recruit the best and brightest talent that we can from across the country to live here, we have to have excellent schools. So they hired Columbia University in New York to come and plan the school system. One of the really interesting things, I think, is that even from day one, they addressed the black population. There was always opportunity for education for everybody.
Post-World War II, the city's growth didn't stop.
In the late 40s, early 50s, all of these suburbs popped up around Kingsport. There was no zoning, there was no planning, and there was this super demand for housing. Many places were planned, but they weren't thoroughly diversified. So the way John Nolan always described Kingsport was it was the first thoroughly diversified industrial city in America.
If you ask someone from Kingsport today what they love about the city, you might get varied answers. But at their hearts, it's the community which lives and breathes in the model city.
So Kingsport's community spirit kind of goes back to the original concept of the Kingsport spirit. It's like, you know, you're trying to build a city from scratch. I mean, you have to rely on your neighbors. There's not a store you can just go buy everything. You have to borrow stuff, and, you know, you have to help with, you know, moving in and, you know, all the things that you would do that are neighborly. And that really became part of our culture.
Another big part of Kingsport, Kristen, is certainly Dobyns-Bennett High School. It's one of the biggest high schools in all of Tennessee.
Absolutely, and that's where we find Chief Meteorologist Dave Dirks with a first look at our very chilly forecast.
What is it? Yeah, it has been a cold one, Kristen, but you know what? I'm excited. We are at J. Fred Johnson Stadium at Dobyns-Bennett High School and getting a little serenade from a quintuplet from the band and enjoying that. But let's talk a little bit about some weather because it warmed up nicely today. In fact, we look live here from Kingsport's Dobyns-Bennett High School. Take a look. We're currently at 44 degrees. Not too shabby. We started out at 11 degrees this morning, and the wind's been fairly light as well. We got mainly temperatures in the 40s. I do want to draw your attention, though, to a quick-moving system that's approaching northeast Tennessee, southwest Virginia. Some rain, a little bit of snow on the northern fringe up toward the Ohio Valley, but this is connected to an area of low pressure. Cold front number 1 comes in tonight with some rain, changing over to some snow. Cold front number 2 comes in on Sunday with some frigid air, once again returning to the Tri-Cities. Now, that initial blast of precip begins to arrive, I think, near the Kentucky-Virginia border between about 9 and 11 o'clock, and for the Tri-Cities will probably start out as some rain, maybe mixed with snow around 10 to midnight was well, that'll start, and then it looks like temperatures will stay, you know, near or above freezing. Most of the Tri-Cities near or below freezing across some of the higher elevations, but we do expect that rain to mix with or change to snow showers most areas overnight. And coming up, I'll let you know how much we're expecting with that system and talk about the entire weekend forecast. And we're going to get a show here from the quintuplet part of the marching band coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Dave, and thank you to the band. From Prohibition-era Kingsport to a modern-day rivalry with New York, who really created the Long Island iced tea? We break it down coming up.
Plus, wolves, bobcats, hawks, snakes, and foxes, incredible hunting skills. There's predators, conservation. We're going to explore it all from Bays Mountain. What makes it so special? That's next on News 5 at 5. Welcome back to the Allendale Mansion. You know, something Kristen taught me the other day was I did not know that the Long Island iced tea does not actually have iced tea. I also don't know where it started, but it depends on who you ask, right? Where
yes, it depends on who you ask. Those in Kingsport say it originated here, but people in Long Island, New York say not so fast.
This story begins in the 1920s, during Prohibition, when drinks had to look innocent, even if they weren't.
Once upon a time, Long Island, Kingsport, Tennessee was residential. And it was also known to be where the bootleggers lived.
We're talking about Kingsport's Long Island, right here on the Holston River. Charles Bishop, better known as Old Man Bishop, is credited by many with creating the original Long Island iced tea.
Fast forward to the 1940s, and his son, by the name of Ransom Bishop, what a cool name, right? Took this drink and he enhanced it a bit by adding lemon, lime, and some cola.
But the story didn't stop there. Fast forward again to the 2000s, where tourism officials were on a trip to Sevierville.
We were sitting down at a restaurant, and we were looking at the menu. And a gentleman that was with us, he said, Long Island iced tea. And in parentheses, it said Kingsport, Tennessee. We were like, what? We came back, we started doing the research to find out that this did originate in Kingsport, Tennessee, on Long Island by the Bishop family.
In 2018, they decided to stake their claim as the birthplace. Of course, not everyone agrees.
Within 24 hours, our friends from Long Island, New York said, wait 1 second.
The original recipe packs a serious punch. Just ask Shane Weiniger at East Coast Wings. It's made with 5 different liquors, but the Kingsport version has a specific ingredient.
The Kingsport Long Island tea has maple syrup in it. We don't use triple sec, we use maple syrup.
Just like they did.
Kingsport claims it. Long Island, New York disputes it. And at one point, the debate turned into a friendly competition. You could call it y'all versus you guys to see who makes the best Long Island iced tea, with Kingsport taking home the top prize.
We had a good time, and they were a little bit of a sore loser, so that was even funner.
Oh, and Shane got a trophy and a tattoo to prove it.
People come in and ask for me or Randy because they know we've done the competition. I mean, people from different areas like, oh, we seen you. You know, we want to try the Kingsport Long Island tea. So it's very cool.
Whether it started in Tennessee or New York, one thing's clear. The Long Island iced tea has a story almost as strong as the drink itself.
If people are coming to Kingsport, they're going to be checking out everything else there is to do in the region while they're visiting here. So let's just pull them in here with this really strong drink and then have them enjoy themselves, spend their money here, and then return.
History with a splash of maple syrup. In Kingsport, Kristen Kwan, News 5, WCYB.
The city of Kingsport is now looking to create a Long Island iced tea trail where you can check out multiple businesses with long iced tea flavored food and drinks, including Bellafina Chocolates. Check this out. They started 15 years ago when the founder wanted to create something with a purpose. Their mission is to make delicious chocolate to give back to children and empower women who are overcoming barriers. In fact, 100% of the profits goes to children organizations across the world. You can find all kinds of different flavors, including the Long Island iced tea.
The white chocolate ganache, it has, we use a Long Island mix that has all 5 liquors in it. It's not crazy over the top, but there's a hint there so you can have it. And, you know, one of the things I love about the Long Island iced tea is it has the logo on it, so it immediately becomes a conversation starter for people that come into the shop or they're looking online and it's like, Long Island, and then being able to share kind of, did you know that Kingsport's the place?
They do custom packaging and ship nationwide. You can check them out on Cherokee Street in downtown Kingsport.
Those sounds echoing through Bays Mountain, they belong to a powerful pack and a mission to protect wildlife right here in our backyard. That story coming up next.
The Dobbins Bennett High School Band has been a source of pride for Kingsport for 100 years, providing musical excellence both on and off the field. Have a listen to these guys right here as they play the Dobbins Bennett High School fight song.
I'm Rebecca Pevin, and one of my favorite places in Kingsport is Bays Mountain Park and Planetarium. Stargazing, great hiking, and the wonderful wildlife. Bays Mountain is home to 5 gray wolves with the most piercing eyes and haunting voices.
It appears that there is more to howling for wolves than just finding each other after a hunt. So What we have come to know is that they also utilize howling as a bonding experience. So it's similar to maybe your family sitting at the dinner table and talking about your day and having a bonding time.
They're majestic creatures with a bone-crushing bite force of more than 1,000 pounds per square inch. Should we try some chicken?
Yes.
These wolves are 10 and 11 years old and have been at the park since they were 5-week-old pups. Yet they remain cautious and suspicious of humans.
So if I suddenly made a huge movement or something, she would probably skirt back.
Miranda Waninger is the chief ranger at Bays Mountain, sharing with us the importance of having the animals here.
The animals that we have in human care, they are education and animal ambassadors. So they are representing their species and their wild counterparts for us.
Talk to me a little bit about this puffiness.
Yeah, so red foxes specifically are acclimated to this type of climate. When I'm working here and it gets down to, 8 degrees Fahrenheit and I'm in my long johns and I come out here and they're just laying straight on the snow, it does not bother them at all.
It's easy to forget they're wild animals with their adorable faces and oh-so-soft coats. But if you're tempted to get a red fox as a pet, keep in mind, while it is legal in Tennessee if you get one from a USDA-licensed facility and obtain the proper permit, it is still not recommended.
I know they're cute and they're amazing, but not necessarily in the way that we really want to see them as a pet in a household. So they are very destructive by nature.
And they mark a lot.
Yes, they mark a lot, and their scent mark actually has a very similar scent to that of a skunk. So especially in the summertime, especially in the summertime, if you come here, you'll smell that skunk smell before you even see this guy right here. So they're very stinky.
Yeah. And great news, they're bringing back otters. There's going to be a groundbreaking in the next couple of months, but construction could still take a couple of years. At Bays Mountain, Rebecca Pepin, News 5, WCYB.
This Storm Track 5 weather forecast is sponsored by Eastman Credit Union.
Very low in the sky heading on down. That means we're going to get cold here pretty quickly, but not as cold as it was this morning. Got down to 11. Let's go ahead and show you another shot here live from Kingsport. Of course, we're at J. Fred Johnson Stadium here at Dobbins-Bennett, but this is a live look from one of our other cameras, Kingsport City Hall, looking down on Church Circle currently, where we have a temperature still at 44 degrees at the airport. Light wind, dew point at 9, so the air is very dry still. Looking ahead to the future, talking about that system coming in later on tonight. We do expect clouds to start moving in, but still dry most areas before 9 o'clock. But a little bit of light rain or light snow beginning to edge closer to the Kentucky-Virginia border around 9 p.m. and then advancing eastward, getting near the Tri-Cities between 11 p.m. and midnight. Likely to start out as a period of rain or rain and snow mix, I think, for much of the Tri-Cities and northeast Tennessee. More like rain, snow, changing over to some snow across southwest Virginia. But you can see it's going to be kind of a mix around. But I think as we get beyond the midnight hour, still rain, snow mix across portions of northeast Tennessee, especially near Hawkins and maybe Greene County, but turning over to some snow, I think most areas overnight tonight, at least snow showers or some periods of snow across southwest Virginia, southeast Kentucky, and areas of northeast Tennessee. It's a pretty quick hitting system. You can see that rain still mixed with the snow even as we get closer to the end of the event itself in northeast Tennessee, but it looks like by 7 a.m. most of this is beginning to push out. So we do expect temperatures to drop into the upper 20s to low 30s. So especially for the mountains and especially for portions of southwest Virginia where the snow may be able to accumulate a little better, we might see some local slick spots. Be cautious everywhere, of course, because we're going to be flirting with freezing even in the Tri-Cities overnight tonight. But snow totals look to be on the order of where we see the rain-snow mix, whether we get more rain, more snow, or more snow than rain. Maybe no accumulation across northeast Tennessee valleys to as much as an inch, but the better chance of maybe accumulating snow in the mountains, maybe dusting up to an inch, maybe 2, but the higher accumulation may be in areas of southwest Virginia near Scott County, northern Lee County, Wise, maybe into Russell County, maybe 1 to 2, locally up to 3. That precipitation winds down. I could actually see a little bit of sunshine as we head into the afternoon on Saturday, but it looks like we will see some gusty winds continuing, maybe a sprinkle or flurry in the afternoon, but temperatures will be in the 40s tomorrow. Getting that frigid air starts coming in on Sunday, dropping down to near 20, but look at this, on Sunday, high Highs only in the mid-20s to low 30s with gusty winds, making the feels-like temperature down into the teens on Sunday, near 10 in the mountains. And that temperature forecast reflects very cold air on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Tuesday, beginning to warm up Wednesday, but we're keeping an eye on Wednesday night and Thursday. Could be another system bringing some snow or rain or mix-up, changing over to snow. So we'll have more from the Dobyns-Bennett Band that we just heard in just a little bit, and more on that forecast right here from J. Fred Johnson Stadium.
Dave, thank you very much. It started with ribs, beer, and a good cause, and my, how it has grown over the years. Coming up, we're talking about Racks by the Tracks.
One of the Tri-Cities' biggest community celebrations. We're talking about Fun Fest next.
Storm Track 5 weather cameras are sponsored by Eastman Credit Union.
Racks by the Track started in 2008, so it's getting close to 20 years old. The Rib and Brewery Festival, as it started out, featured live music, rib vendors, and area microbreweries. For the very first event, a portion of proceeds were donated to the Second Harvest Food Bank. There was also a rib cook-off and prizes awarded for the best professional barbecue, best amateur cooks, and the People's Choice Award.
The festival today has grown to feature a 10K, a 5K, and bigger acts that headline the stage while staying true to its roots with the beer and ribs that started it all.
Sky 5 is sponsored by Steve Huff Plumbing, Heating and Air.
From WCYB, this is News 5 at 5:30.
Hi, everyone. Welcome into News 5 on the road. We are celebrating 70 years of WCYB. All throughout the year, we'll be going to different towns and cities across our region. We're starting off here in Kingsport. Kristen Kwan, Casey Getz, we're here at Allendale Mansion tonight.
Yes, it's a beautiful home. We're happy to be here. And one of the things that we're talking about tonight is Fun Fest. It's a festival that brings people from all over to experience music, food, and more. News 5's Janya Nordello is joining us live from Bays Mountain Park to tell us a little bit more. Janya.
Hey, Kristen. Hey, Casey. Before we talk about Fun Fest, I'm at Bays Mountain right now, and I wanted to give a fair warning. If you don't like snakes, now may be a good time to cook some dinner, because I'm here with my friend Jake and Sable. So, Jake, tell me a little bit about Sable.
Sable is an eastern black king snake. They get their name because they are one of the only snakes that can eat venomous snakes in Tennessee.
Okay, and how old is Sable?
Sable is right around 12-year-old at the moment.
Okay, and tell me a little bit more about Sable. Where can you find Sable?
Sable, you can find, they like to climb trees. You can just find them out in the wild, going out on rocks, places like that, because they do really enjoy some warm places.
And Sable's a nice snake, right?
Yeah, Sable is perfect. We do programs with her all the time.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Well, and Bays Mountain and Sable isn't the only fun thing you can do in Kingsport. Although Fun Fest is still a little bit away, I did want to show the history of Fun Fest and what it means to the community.
For decades, Fun Fest has meant one thing in Kingsport: coming together.
It came with the whole premise of community unity. It was put together by many leaders in our community to really bring a community back together that was in a hard time.
From its humble beginnings 46 years ago, Fun Fest has grown into a celebration that fills the streets and skies, drawing visitors while staying true to its roots.
It has really transformed from just a community festival to also a great opportunity for visitors and others from outside of our area to kind of come enjoy what Kingsport's all about.
And while the fun lasts for 9 days, the work never stops.
It's hundreds and thousands of volunteers and sponsors and all kinds of people that really make it what it is each year.
From packed concerts and road races to youth events, church gatherings, and local businesses, FunFest is built on small moments that become lifelong memories.
It's neat to watch it pass down from generation to generation. And it's hard to explain if you didn't grow up with it, if you don't live here. So we work very hard to share our story of what FunFest is and hope it'll continue to be here for another 50 years.
In Kingsport, Johnny Nardello, News 5 WCYB.
Some chill out there this morning, gang, with temperatures dropping down to near 10. However, we warmed up into the 40s this afternoon. Let's go outside and talk about what's going on. Looking live here from J. Fred Johnson Stadium in Kingsport here at Dobyns-Bennett. 44 current temperatures. So we went from 10, 11 this morning into the 40s most areas, but beginning to drop back down into the 30s. And looks like we're going to see a fast-moving system starting to move in. Some rain advancing across Middle Tennessee into Kentucky, mixed with some snow near the Ohio Valley. That's System 1 coming in tonight. And then on Sunday, the second front comes through. Not a lot of fanfare regarding precip, but it's going to be delivering a punch of some really cold air coming in for the second half of the weekend. Now, that precip will start as a form of some rain, maybe rain-snow mix in the Tri-Cities, probably not until around or after 11 o'clock, maybe between 9 and 11 across areas near the Kentucky-Virginia border. Temperatures still in the 30s at that time. Looks like we'll only drop down to near freezing in the Tri-Cities, maybe upper 20s, low 30s in the mountains, but that rain will mix with some snow, maybe change over to snow overnight tonight. Light accumulation possible. I'll talk more about that coming up in my full forecast. However, I also want to talk about something in the latter part of my 7-day that could bring a better coverage of some rain and snow later next week. So stay tuned for that.
Ford has just one of 4 high school radio stations in Tennessee and one of just 130 in the nation. News 5's Kayla Perney went and visited 90.3 WCSK to see these students in action and learn what they do.
90.3 WCSK Kingsport, this is the voice of Kingsport City Schools.
These students at Dobyns-Bennett High School are getting an opportunity few teenagers get to experience. Their voices on an FM signal stretching more than 30 miles for an hour each week with near complete creative freedom.
What's it like to, drive around town and hear a friend on the radio?
It's super nice. I mean, it's super interesting to see what songs they pick and if they have a partner, how they set up their show.
It's the full media experience with all the professional tools.
We pick from a library of music, and it's massive, and there's a lot to pick from. And you gotta move fast, and you gotta pick the music, then get it into the time slot.
We also have a high chance of snow on Wednesday, so watch out for that. Maybe we'll get out of school, maybe we won't, who knows?
I'll do an update on the school, an update on the weather, what's happening in Kingsport, all that kind of stuff.
We talk about movies a lot, so whatever movies just come out, we'll talk about this is what I saw about it, and the trailer and how we think it's going to be. And it's more like a podcast style.
It's not just about the community service or how fun this can be. These students are prepping for their future, whether they're interested in film or voice acting.
This is kind of a way I broke into that because I get to talk and do voices and kind of just mess with things and see how everything works and see what works and what doesn't, what I like and what I don't like.
Pretty much no other experience it's like this one around, and I think it's just great to have such a unique thing.
And they're getting the beginner mistakes out of the way too.
The microphone's off. Have you ever been caught where you thought it was off and it's on?
Yes. Multiple times.
A nearly half-century tradition on 90.3 FM, these students are carrying into the future. In Kingsport, Caleb Perney, News 5, WCYB.
Your local headlines will head back to Bristol for that, including Virginia lawmakers passing amendments to the state constitution. We'll explain what happens next.
And local libraries say their collections are in compliance with state and federal law. The details ahead.
Good
Good evening, I'm Rebecca Pepin with your local headlines. Virginia's full legislature passed 4 constitutional amendments today as Democrats take advantage of their majorities in both the House and Senate. The amendments include protecting abortion and contraception, immediately restoring voting rights for felons after completing their sentences, including same-sex marriage in constitutional wording, and most controversially, granting the General Assembly the power of redistricting congressional districts. To be finalized, though, these amendments will now face referendum votes in April and November. With Virginia lawmakers returning to the state capitol this week, education has remained a big topic for both parties. Lawmakers are currently looking at new funding models for public schools. One of Southwest Virginia's delegates also has a bill making it easier for localities to request funds for school improvements. News 5's Liam Bridgman will have additional details tonight on News 5 at 11. Public libraries in Washington County, Tennessee and Johnson City are confirming their children's book collections comply with state and federal law. The move follows a request from the Tennessee Secretary of State, Trey Hargett, asking public libraries to review juvenile materials. Library officials say the review reaffirmed policies already in place, including how books are selected, reviewed, and organized by age. Leaders also stress that the state's age-appropriate materials law applies to school libraries, not public libraries, and that patrons can formally request a review if they have concerns. Business and community leaders gathering today for the Bristol Chamber of Commerce's 2026 yearly celebration. At the luncheon, chamber leaders reflected on accomplishments from the past year while also outlining priorities and economic goals for 2026. The celebration highlighted collaboration across the region and marked a leadership transition as the 2025 Chamber Board Chair Sherry Brown passed the gavel to its new chair, David Crockett, with help from chairs from years past.
Welcome back. You're looking live at J. Fred Johnson Stadium in Kingsport. On Friday nights, thousands of people show up to J. Fred to watch not only the Dobyns-Bennett football team, but also the Dobyns-Bennett marching band. And a few members of the band kind enough to come out and brave the cold tonight to play a little music for us. We'll listen to them right now. The band at Dobyns-Bennett is celebrating 100 years in 2026. It started as a band of just 45 members 100 years ago, but now it has grown into a band of almost 400 students in 2026. In 1997, Leif Cook became the band director at Dobyns-Bennett High School. It was an opportunity he hoped would be a stepping stone in his career.
My vision when I came to Dobyns-Bennett was to teach a really good high school band for 5 years and then do college band. Well, that was my vision. That's not what happened. After a few years, we kind of looked around and thought, we have a better band program than a lot of college bands have. And so here I am 29 years later, still loving it.
29 years later, the Dobyns-Bennett Band has grown from 130 members to a band approaching 400 students.
At its core is something that's good for kids. And so, you know, families want to be part of it because it helps their kids grow up in a strong way. But I also think that it's brought Kingsport a degree of notoriety, national televised stuff like the Rose Parade and the Macy's Parade. And so I think that has some value.
Over the last century, the DB Band has grown in other ways than size.
Years ago said, okay, how do we get better? And we realized the way we get better is to benchmark our program against the best programs in the country. And so we're competing against schools all over the country.
The Indians have more than delivered. They are a 3-time class AAA Band of America national champion.
We go in there feeling just as proud and as confident as the big bands, and hopefully we get the same results. Usually we do pretty well, so it's always good to have our reward for all the work that we do.
Like any good leader, Cook is quick to credit others for the sustained success the band has enjoyed over the almost 3 decades he's been in charge.
But the credit for that goes to so many people. Our great middle school teachers, who are the ones who train the kids to come to us, community support at the district level, at the city level, at the community level. A one high school town like Kingsport is an amazing place to be a band director. And if you cultivate all those relationships, it's like the perfect opportunity to build a program, again, that's great for kids.
The highlight of year 100 for the DB Band will be going to New York City later this year to participate in the 100th Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It will be their 6th trip to the Big Apple. The DB Band has also participated in 4 Rose Parades and a presidential inauguration. If you think that's impressive, listen to what the future holds for a band that is already bigger than some schools around the region.
Middle school bands at Robinson Middle School and Sevier Middle School are actually thriving right now, almost at a level unheard of. And so I think the band is likely going to get bigger. And I think everyone's on board to provide access for any kid who wants to do the thing.
This Storm Track 5 weather forecast is sponsored by Eastman Credit Union.
Dobbins Bennett High School has been a cornerstone of the Kingsport community for generations, and we're live here at J. Fred Johnson Stadium at Dobbins Bennett, where football and band go hand in hand, enjoying some of that nice music right now. And I'll walk up to the storm tracker, which we brought along, and we're going to talk a little bit about this fairly nice Friday afternoon that evolved after a frigid start. In fact, we were down to 11 degrees this morning, got up to 45 degrees this afternoon. We're currently at 44 as we check in live from Kingsport City Hall on our Eastman Credit Union camera network. Now, as I pointed out a little while ago, we do have a quick moving system. It's going to be a quick hitting one. Should be almost done by morning, but clouds rolling in here as we go through the evening, and between 7 and 9, we'll start to see some light rain or snow showers beginning to move closer to the Kentucky-Virginia border. Still dry in the Tri-Cities, but that rain mixing with snow in northeast Tennessee and rain changing to snow as we go through late evening across southwest Virginia. Looks like around 10 to midnight we'll see that precip move into northeast Tennessee, and the Tri-Cities is a mix of rain and snow, or it might even start as a period of rain and could even stay rain. Some of our southwestern parts of northeast Tennessee into Hawkins and Greene County. We're going to be looking at that rain mixing with or changing over to snow at times through the overnight in northeast Tennessee. Mainly snow for the mountains and also for southwest Virginia after midnight. By 7 a.m., this precip comes to an end, and we'll be looking at low temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s. So a few spots, especially mountains and southwest Virginia, where we have a little bit more snow accumulation potential. We'll see possibly some local slick spots to be on the lookout for. I think most areas in the northeast Tennessee area, Tri-Cities, from nothing with that mix up to maybe an inch, maybe up to an inch or so in the mountains of Tennessee, North Carolina, adjacent areas of Virginia. I think maybe our higher chance of an inch or two, maybe locally more up higher, 2 to 3, maybe 4, like places like High Knob, be across areas of northern Lee and parts of Scott into western Russell into Wise County. That's where that bullseye may be, and even there it's going to be mostly on the light side. But that precip is going to be pushing off as we go through Saturday morning, maybe a morning snow shower or flurry, and then some afternoon sunshine with perhaps a few sprinkles or flurries. Not a bad afternoon, really, as temperatures will likely climb up to near 40 to 45, maybe mid to upper 40s around Greenville, upper 30s around Norton. And then the frigid air, that Arctic front, comes through tomorrow night, allowing temperatures to drop down to the upper teens to low 20s. And the high Sunday, with even as sunshine returns, only around 25 to 30. With gusty winds, it will feel cold on Sunday, with temperature feels like in the mid-teens, upper teens during the day on Sunday in the Tri-Cities, upper single digits to low teens across the higher elevations. Now, I do want to point out that we are expecting some frigid air to arrive Sunday, sticking around for Martin Luther King Jr. Day Wednesday, a little bit milder during the afternoon, lows teens, highs upper 30s, down to near 10 as we go through Tuesday morning. That'll be the coldest morning, highs around 30 with sunshine and gusty winds. We do see a bit of a warm-up Wednesday into the 40s, but the next system, forecast model suggesting maybe a chance of rain or snow Wednesday night late into Thursday, changing over to snow potentially. We'll have to keep a close eye on that one. So a busy weather pattern, but overall, I think after we get through tonight, the weekend is going to be pretty good. So we'll have more coming up live here from Kingsport, J. Fred Johnson Stadium in just a little bit.
Storm Track 5 weather cameras are sponsored by Eastman Credit Union.
Features of downtown Kingsport is Church Circle. Called Town Square, the First Baptist, First Presbyterian, First Broad Street United Methodist, and former First Methodist Episcopal churches were part of the 1919 city planning and revitalization. In the 1930s, the churches were renovated in a coordinated effort to have the steeples act as bookends, and the architecture and design all complement each other.
Sullivan Street, which goes right through the middle of Church Circle, it was the original 11W and 23 together. And on the western side of town, it split and went up the Scott County Road, which is now Lynn Garden Drive, and Netherland Inn Road, which was toward Knoxville. And on the other side, it went to Bristol and Johnson City. But for that blocks right in the middle of town, every car going anywhere on 23 or 11W came right to the middle of Church Circle.
Nicknamed the White House of Kingsport, the Allendale Mansion has been part of this community for more than 70 years. The history, the memories, and how it's still bringing people together today, that's coming up on News 5 at 6.
From WCYB, this is News 5 at 6.
This is a look at our Sky 5 drone at Allendale Mansion. News 5 celebrating your town as part of our 70th anniversary celebration.
WCYB first went on air in August of 1956, and all season long we're celebrating by taking the show on the road to your town. Today we're here at Allendale Mansion, but this location has been used for a lot more than just our show. The owner, Harvey Brooks, actually wanted to make sure that the city of Kingsport got the mansion after his death.
And now it's used for things like ice cream at Allendale, the Mardi Gras murder mystery, and special events. Weddings are here. Years ago, remember the Big Orange Caravan was here once, so a lot can happen here at Allendale.
And now I want some ice cream. But News 5's Mara St. Marie shows us the significance of this beautiful home.
Nicknamed the White House of Kingsport, the Allendale Mansion has been the iconic backdrop in many memories for more than 70 years. The house was built in 1953, with each floor having a center foyer and 4 rooms branching out. The mansion is about 5,000 square feet with 25 acres of property surrounding it. Program leader Jennifer Henry says the property is a unique and beautiful staple of Kingsport.
I just love the grounds. You know, it's so wonderful to come out here on a beautiful day and just enjoy the space. There's so many different things to see, and it's a good place to relax.
After owner Harvey Brooks' death in 1969, the mansion was donated to the city of Kingsport for public use. A nonprofit known as Friends of Allendale helps to keep Brooks' vision possible.
It's just a group of people who really love Allendale and they want to help take care of it, and to me that's just incredible.
Henry says every year, Kingsport residents can count on traditional events along with something new.
We host a lot of different kinds of events here, from public events that people remember from the past, like Ice Cream at Allendale, to our current events like the Hobby Horse Derby and our Mardi Gras Murder Mystery. I think a lot of people have special memories of coming out here at different points in their lives.
The mansion is also available to rent for private events such as weddings or tours. At Allendale Mansion, Mara St. Marie, News 5 WCYB.
Hey everybody, I am live here at Bays Mountain from their herpetarium, and earlier we met Sable, and that snake was pretty awesome. But there are plenty of other animals here, and my friend Jake is going to show us. So Jake, start us off.
So right here is one of our eastern box turtles. This one's named Small Fry. He is pretty young. I believe he's about 1.5 years old right now. He was one of our pet surrenders. Box turtles, they get the name of being a box turtle because they can fold up completely in their shell to help protect them from any predators that's trying to get them out in the wild.
Okay, pretty cool, and very cute. We also have some pretty big salamanders.
Yes, so these are our tiger salamanders. They're actually one of our larger salamander species that we have in North America. Surprisingly, their life expectancy is anywhere from 12 to 15 years.
And how old do you think that they are?
I believe they're about 6-year-old at the moment.
Well, they're very cute. The face is amazing. And lastly, we have another turtle.
We do. We have a little bit of a larger box turtle. That one was also a pet surrender. He has been with us for about 2 years now. Don't really know his age exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jake. All of this is awesome. So if you're ever in Kingsport, make sure to head to Bays Mountain. Live from Kingsport, Johnny Nordello, News 5, WCYB.
Well, it started as a volunteer dream and became a Kingsport landmark. The story behind the carousel told by one of the original carvers who helped bring it to life. That's coming up.
Salute You is brought to you by Johnson City Honda.
We continue our salute to local veterans and active military personnel. Tonight, we recognize A.J. Bartley of Hayside, Virginia. A.J. served in the U.S. Navy from 1945 to 1946 during World War II. A.J. Bartley, we thank you for your service, and we salute you.
One landmark.
Natalia Hillen shows us more about how this community treasure came together.
This hand-carved horse on display along Broad Street is more than just wood. It represents what the Kingsport Carousel means to this town. I spoke with one of the original carvers who helped turn this volunteer dream into a lasting landmark. This is 88-year-old Milton Nelson, one of the original Kingsport Carousel carvers.
I was one of the 4 horsemen.
A retired music teacher, Milton wanted to bring his passion for wood carving to the Kingsport community.
I've always been interested in wood.
The idea for the carousel began in 2009.
One of the first things they did is they found there's a carving school in Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. That gentleman came up and spoke at the Kiwanis Club of Kingsport.
And from there, it bloomed into a project designed to create lasting family memories for the community.
The great part of the carousel is people feel attached to it. And we love that because that generates the love that will continue from generation to generation.
So much of Kingsport and East Tennessee's history is told through this carousel.
The rounding boards tell the story of Kingsport up to the 1950s.
Each animal is carved and painted uniquely by different carvers and artists. Milton himself carved 4 animals, each with its own story. One of those, a wolf.
We'd had a storm more than 25 years ago that came through town, and it also came through Bays Mountain and tore the fence down, and the wolves got out, and one they've never caught.
Over the course of 5 to 6 years, it took a true community effort, with volunteers carving 30 animals and 2 carriages.
There were over 300 folks involved in the experience.
The carousel officially opened to the community in 2015, and last July, the team celebrated its 10-year anniversary.
In 2025, we celebrated 600,000 riders.
Milton says he's grateful to have been part of something that means so much to Kingsport.
It just was an awesome experience.
A decade later, the carousel still carries the pride of the people who built it and the families who continue to ride it. In Kingsport, Natalia Hillen, News 5 WCYB.
The Kingsport Carousel is closed this month for maintenance work, but when it reopens, it's $1 to ride.
Coming up, it's a park shaped by history and focused on the future. We will explore what makes Warriors Path State Park so special, coming up on News 5 at 6.
Sky 5 is sponsored by Steve Huff Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Warriors Path State Park brings outdoor enthusiasts and locals all year round.
News 5's Liam Bridgman made a trip out to the park to tell us what makes it so special to the Kingsport community.
I'm here at Warriors Path State Park. It was named after the Great Cherokee War and trading path, and since that time it's had a long history of travelers. But today it'll just have to make do with me.
The park spans nearly 1,000 acres and offers everything from a nice walk around Fort Patrick Henry Lake to a boundless playground for everyone to play.
Warriors Path State Park is one of our most visited Tennessee state parks, partly because it's such a great place, also because of its location.
Marty Silver has been a park ranger here at Warriors Path since 1979. And since then, he's become a staple of the community with his conservation talks to students around our region.
Warriors Path is unique in that we get so many visitors from so many different parts of the world, and many of them are folks who are not that aware of the natural world, so it's a great chance to help people begin to become more conservation aware and enjoy the beauty of a busy place like this too. So it's a big opportunity for me.
It's a park full of history with the hopes of changing our future.
So we think about those that came before us, which helps think about those coming after us and how we can, how what we do today touches the future. Come and enjoy. It's a beautiful place. It's yours, it's ours to enjoy and discover together.
At Warriors Path State Park, Liam Bridgman, News 5, WCYB.
This Storm Track 5 weather forecast is sponsored by Eastman Credit Union.
Hey, everybody, reporting live here from J. Fred Johnson Stadium, Dobbins-Bennett High School here in Kingsport. We're going to go right to business here and talk about what was a beautiful afternoon in the Tri-Cities and a live look from Kingsport City Hall looking down on Church Circle. We went to from 11 this morning for a high to the mid-40s this afternoon. Look how quickly temperatures have dropped. We're already down to 37 degrees. But I want to let you know that we do have a weather system coming in pretty quickly tonight. Clouds are going to be increasing pretty fast, and between about 7 and 9, some light rain and snow showers approaching the Kentucky-Virginia border, and then I think we'll see a mix of rain, probably starting out as rain in the Tri-Cities, and then maybe mixing with some snow as we head closer to the midnight hour. May stay in the form of rain across some of our valley areas in northeast Tennessee. You see there around Hawkins, parts of Greene County. Probably transitioning over to some snow, though, across the northeast part of the metro into the mountains of Tennessee, North Carolina, staying as snow in southwest Virginia. But it's out of here mostly by 7 a.m. Lows are going to be dropping into the upper 20s to low 30s, so any light accumulation where temperatures drop down below freezing could be some local slick spots to be aware of, especially parts of southwest Virginia and the mountains. Accumulation to the Tri-Cities from maybe nothing, where we see more of a rain winning out as opposed to snow in the Tri-Cities, maybe nothing. But if we get a period of some snow for a couple of hours, so it may pick up locally up to ½ inch or an inch, better chance of an inch or so into the mountains of Tennessee, North Carolina, north into Virginia. But perhaps 1 to 2, locally 3, in an area there where the lighter shading is from northern Lee into parts of Scott, maybe parts of Russell and Wise County, into areas of Letcher and Harlan County. Some of the high elevations in these counties could pick up maybe 3 or 4, some of the higher mountains. But temperature-wise, we're going to come back pretty good tomorrow. So what we do see, if we see any in the Tri-Cities, it probably disappears pretty quickly. But there could be a light coating, even in the Tri-Cities in the morning, on grassy surfaces especially. But temperatures will come up to around 40 to 45 with some sunshine returning in the afternoon, maybe a morning snow shower. But otherwise, the frigid Arctic air returns Saturday night into Sunday. Another secondary cold front is going to slide through and will drop down to around 20 Sunday morning, and highs only reaching around 25 to 30. It will be kind of breezy on Sunday as well, so the wind chill Sunday afternoon will likely be in the teens to around 20 in the Tri-Cities, single digits to around 10 in the mountains. But the 7-day forecast has that colder air sticking around right on through early next week, including Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Lows in the teens, highs in the 30s with gusty winds. Gusty and really cold Tuesday, low near 10, high near 30. And then we do anticipate a warm up for Wednesday into the 40s, but the next system may produce some rain or snow by Wednesday night, may transition over to some snow on Thursday, so we'll have to keep an eye on that system, as it does look like it may be a little more important, a little more interesting than the one that's coming through tonight. But keep your guard up tonight. Could be a few local slick spots, especially across the higher elevations and perhaps across parts of southwest Virginia. Reporting live here at J. Fred Johnson Stadium in Kingsport, Dobbins-Bennett High School, I'm Chief Meteorologist Abe Dirks.
Storm Track 5 weather cameras are sponsored by Eastman Credit Union. Complete coverage from both sides of the state line. This is the State Line Sports Zone.
Welcome to sports, coming to you tonight from inside the Buck Van Hust Dome at Dobbins-Bennett High School. When you think about sports in Kingsport, Buck Van Hess's name is one of the first that comes to mind.
He took over the basketball program in 1967, winning more than 860 games, as well as 10 district, 11 regional, and 1 state championship. Back in 1987, a few years before he passed away, News 5 spoke with Van Huss about what he thought his legacy should be.
I know it won't happen this way, but I'd like to be remembered as being fair. But and I know that I have been, in my heart, I have been fair. But every kid thinks maybe that they should have played or something like that.
The other sporting venue you think about when you think about Kingsport is the Kingsport Speedway. Opened in 1965, it has hosted hundreds of races, including NASCAR in the 1970s. A few years ago, I talked to some folks to talk about how the concrete jungle came to be.
When it comes to the history of Kingsport Speedway, David McGee wrote the book, literally. Its history, a big part of making East Tennessee a racing mecca among drivers.
There was a point in time during those 3 years when Sullivan was one of 2 counties in the U.S. that we've been able to find that had more than 2 Premier Series races in one season.
And the local guy that I remember first was John A. Usman from Bluff City.
And even after NASCAR's top series left the track, Kingsport was still a magnet for the big teams for 2 reasons: its location and its racing.
That was before NASCAR Cup racing got to be such a big thing. But it was just a few years before that.
During the 1970s, when Lonesome Pine was in operation, you could double up and you could run Friday night at Kingsport and Saturday night at Lonesome Pine. And that's how you saw guys like L.D. Ottinger had a lot of success. Gene Glover had a lot of success. Brad Teague had a lot of success.
We'll wrap up our Your Town coverage from Kingsport when we come back.
The Allendale Mansion is hosting a Mardi Gras celebration coming up next month.
They are. The Friends of Allendale are inviting you to join in on the Mardi Gras Murder at the Mansion. It's on February 12th and 13th. That's a Thursday and Friday from 7 p.m. until 8:30.
Sounds really fun. The event is a Clue-style experience. Guests will gather hints throughout the mansion while celebrating the spirit of Mardi Gras. Tickets are $50 for Thursday with wine and hors d'oeuvres included. And then on Friday, tickets are $30 with desserts and hurricane punch. For more information, of course, you can head to our website, WCYB.com. And we have had so much fun here at the Allendale Mansion. Special thanks to them for hosting us tonight. It is a beautiful home, and we've enjoyed being here.
Yes, also thank you to Dobbins Bennett High School for turning on the lights at J. Fred Johnson Stadium, for the members of the band who showed up and braved the elements with Dave Dirks tonight, and also to the people at Bays Mountain for letting John Nordello come out there as well, and also the entire team here at WCYB. There's a lot of people who put a lot of time into making this live shows possible, so thank you to everybody at the station for coming together and putting this together.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, like you mentioned, the drone shots, everything. So thanks to our WCYB team for an excellent night. Have a great night, everyone.